Hi, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you are stay healthy, stay productive, and
Good afternoon.
yes, I hope that you still productive even you just stay at home, right? So welcome to the fourth episode of Life Distance Learning. So in this occasion, I will introduce myself first. My name is Nadia Sigi. I am lecturer of Visual Art Department, Semarang State University. And thank you so much for all of the participants. Okay, especially for lecture from Semarang State University. Halo, ada Miss Rahina.
Halo.
Good afternoon. Hello Miss Sastri. Sepertinya ada Mr. Ivanda. Yeah, thank you so much for joining today. And I think Miss Fanny has already joined. Okay. Do you know that today is a very special moment because we have a very special keynote speaker, and she is so far away from here. I think she's already joined, so let's say hi to Professor Fanny.
Hi, Professor Fanny.
Hello, Professor Fanny. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can.
Where are you now? Okay, hi. You look so beautiful today.
Thank you.
Okay, Prof. Fanny, welcome to Semarang State University and welcome to Life Distance Learning. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Nadia, ma'am.
Okay.
And good morning to all the staff and students at Semarang State University. I have it right, Nadia, am I right?
Yes, really good pronunciation. You can say Semarang perfectly.
I'm all the way from University of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. We really far away.
Very far away in Durban, South Africa. And right now in Durban it's at 10 o'clock, right? 10 a.m.
Yes.
So good morning, Miss Fanny. And do you know that our topic today is about learning during the age of coronavirus? Yes, as we know that coronavirus brings so many impacts in some aspects, like the economic development and can change about the society behavior, and also the education activity. Yes, like today, Life Distance Learning is one program that caused by coronavirus. Okay, Miss Fanny, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can start if you want. You can upload the PowerPoint and we'll go quickly.
Okay, yes, because we just limit time. Okay, I will share.
I want you to know that this is an interactive session, so I'm going to these few issues, and then we'll go on to speaking and question
time. Can you see my share screen?
Yes. So, can I begin, Nadia?
Yes, ma'am.
Nadia?
We are ready.
Okay. Today we're going to be looking at learning during the age of the coronavirus. And I'm Professor Vani Naidu from the School of Management, Information Technology and Governance at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. Once again, thank you for the opportunity, Nadia, and thank you to Semarang State University students come in and listen.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, I can hear your voice. Okay, let's continue.
We will now look at the overview. Nadia?
Okay. Sorry.
Page down.
Yes. Sorry. I try to click for the next screen, but why it cannot? Okay, can you see?
Oh yes. Next. Oh, must I just speak? Okay. So today we're looking at a brief. The next page, Nadia.
Yes.
Nadia.
Okay.
So we're looking at 3 important concepts which we're going to be discussing in this guest lecture. We're going to be looking at online, remote, and distance learning, which we are practicing now because of the imminence of the coronavirus that has taken over. And it has immense impact on the education system, especially higher education. Then we're going to look at challenges facing learners using the online remote systems. And then we're going to touch on a little bit on research and how to be optimistic and motivated towards doing your research. And then we will do some conclusions and question and answer time.
Okay, so after you finish your deliver, so we will continue to the Q&A, right?
Yes. So in the introduction, we said that many nations of the world are in shock with the emergence of the coronavirus that has taken over globally. Basically, every country in the world has been touched by this, leaving fatalities in its wake, countries grappling with economic crisis, medical crisis, etc. So governments are trying to establish normalcy at basically every sector of society has been affected by the coronavirus. So it's not easy to maintain normalcy within this situation. Within education, the stance was taken to go and teach remote online learning or distance learning so as to assist the students to complete the semesters and the year. Because we're not sure when the vaccine will come about, we're not sure. So because of the uncertainty, we can't just leave learners aside. We had to engage in a positive way forward. So the new normal now is to stay at home unless you are an essential service worker. So going out to buy groceries can put you at risk of becoming infected. So the use of gloves, masks, and maintaining of social distancing is a must in many countries. Learners and educators no longer have the luxury of a traditional classroom scenario, as it is against health regulations and government protocols to have a group of people together. So the way forward for many universities was to switch to online, remote, or distance learning.
Okay. I think you want to go to the next slide? Okay, this one. Sorry. This one.
So some interesting comments that have evolved from theorists over the years on online learning issues. And when I basically took it in context of our new scenario, coronavirus, and during the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic, many universities are opting for online, remote, or distance learning. Here, delivery and learning takes place over the internet. Teaching students online is not so easy, as students may either be highly competent in using technology, while there's another lot that is slow or grapple with the online learning systems. So it has like a twofold effect as well. So some interesting comments put forward by theorists was that Orlando and Arthur stated that teaching with technology is not a one-size-fits-all or approach, as it depends on the type of technology in use at the time and also the curriculum content being taught. So like I said, different learners have different trajectories. Some like to see and learn, some like to listen and learn, and most of the time they like a group scenario where they're around other students, they're around the teacher, etc. in a traditional classroom. What I did in my lectures, for example, I developed with our audio-visual at the university, I developed some lectures and I put it online where the students can physically see my face while I teach. I also, to keep it as real as possible, I like a sense of humor because I teach strategy. So I put in a little bit of humor here and there, etc., to keep them interested, etc. But it's not the same because I've been getting a lot of comments via the internet, ma'am, we miss you. We just miss seeing you. And I guess in Semarang State University as well, staff have the same issue, students have the same issue, because
Yes, of course.
as human beings, we social animals. We love to be around each other. However, due to this COVID-19 pandemic and this coronavirus, it makes it difficult because of the rate of transference is so rapid that we have to have social distancing. And that is why now we have to adapt to a new paradigm shift in teaching and in learning, so that we all can come out of this pandemic in a positive light. So another interesting quote by Jacques and Salman, they said that despite the best intentions of teaching staff to provide equitable and beneficial learning experience for all students, regardless of enrollment mode, many academic staff members feel apprehensive and not suitably equipped to teach via wholly or mostly online, particularly as they themselves may be still learning to use some of the platforms. So some of the new platforms have raised some curiously confusing and attitudes by staff, because it's not something they used to. However, we're learning to grapple with it. Like Nadia ma'am has been so kind as to have her students, meet on these listen sites to hear to different aspects and different occurrences in terms of teaching and learning in different countries. Nadia, can we move to the next, please? Hello?
This one?
Nadia, yes.
I have already changed. Next slide. Challenge to online learning.
Nggak kelihatan, Bu Nadia?
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, Mom. I think, something wrong
here. Hearing.
Sorry for the connection. Sometimes it's unstable.
Yes.
So, actually, I have shared, but
coba di-share lagi, Bu Nadia.
Yeah.
Ini mati lagi.
Mati lagi ya.
Okay, Nadia. Technological glitches, guys. These happen. It says start sharing.
Can you see?
Okay. So the next aspect we're looking at is challenges to online learning. And the following challenges I've noticed, even when I've done research on online learning pedagogies, I find that these are some of the often crucial issues that come up that students and staff who are using online learning put forward. The first one is adaptability. Since students are used to traditional classroom setups, they find it difficult to adapt to new online modes. So change, which is often hard, because moving to this new use of online is not easy for students and staff as well. So we need to change mindset so that online learning becomes more approachable to learners. Maybe we need to, like what you're doing, Nadia, is amazing, where you adding a little interaction as well. So this is what academics should do. As well as students, you also should, share with us some videos, some interesting things. Drop a line, drop a little email, go on the chat, etc., so that we know what's happening. And at the end of the day, this is the only way forward during this COVID-19 pandemic, as the world sits with this ginormous medical, I call it, it's like a natural disaster, catastrophe occurring, but we need to have some way of moving forward. So I think change is often hard. Yes, we need to recognize this. In a normal scenario, yes, online learning remotely would be far more easier. But we have this dark cloud hanging over our heads, this coronavirus. There's so much apprehension, there's tension, there's sadness. People are now working from home. It is more difficult. My normal day used to be 10 hours. Now I'm sitting 15 hours and working at home. So it's longer hours for all of us, even the students. And sometimes we need to be respectful of the fact that there's other things happening. You know, we have sick family members, we have kids at home, we have, so all this, but we need to be bigger than ourselves, because the idea is learning is continuous, and we need to foster a positive learning atmosphere and a learning scenario within ourselves so that we can move forward. The second challenge that to online learning, especially in remote distance learning, is the technical support. Some students may not have computers like we have seen at UKZN, so there had to be geo-mapping, etc. at our university done to make the necessary facilities available. And secondly, students may not have enough bandwidth with them. Then our university has spoken to network providers like MTN to provide some lucrative, zero rating costs using certain portals of UKZN learning sites, etc. And there's also the issue of there's no proper infrastructure. You must try to understand that there's no proper infrastructure everywhere in the world to accommodate, the necessary online learning. However, we're trying as best we can, I guess, and it's difficult, but these are some of the technical issues or support. Students also don't know how to adapt to the application of the online module via the online sites. Like, for example, we use Moodle, and sometimes students grapple with that. Herein, I think a way forward is to have very efficient support staff available that can assist in this area, because our administration support in e-learning and in ICT, etc., need to assist students in going forward and getting access to the necessary portals, etc. So the next issue or challenge is staying motivated. Guys, this is not easy for any of us. As I reiterate again, we faced with the COVID-19 or the coronavirus on a global scale. It's not easy watching the news and seeing how sad this devastation has left so many people, so many deaths, etc., so much of crises, so much of sadness, I guess. So it is not easy to stay motivated. I always say to my students, have a positive mindset. Sometimes don't watch too much of news, too much of negative things. Yes, we know it's there. Try to be safe where you are. Try to practice safe codes of conduct, etc., in terms of social distancing, wearing masks. Another issue when we're looking at staying motivated, learners need to champion support from family, online classmates, or online administrators. Sometimes students, I find it hard to share insecurities with their teacher. However, my students are not like that. They kind of say, oh, we don't know this, we don't know that. And I send it forward to our administration, and then they assist where possible. Another thing is students practicing proper online etiquette. Students, unfortunately, sometimes they forget that although we gone online, we still operating on a proper code of conduct, etc. So it's important to have proper online etiquette. Don't communicate with your teacher or an administrator in cap letters, etc., because it's interpreted as screaming. Be respectful at all times. I think that is most important. Listen, we all are doing our best. The way academics go out and are respectful to our learners, so to learners, respectful at all times, to staff in terms of engagement, in terms of understanding the time dimensions, etc. Okay, somebody needs to put off their audio. Thank you. So students need to be patient because teachers sometimes have many modules and tasks at hand to complete. So if they send you an email back later than usual, you need to understand why. Because This online thing is new to all of us. We all are trying to make inroads. I always say to students, we are like Vasco da Gama or Columbus here. We're sailing new territory. Learning in coronavirus is new to all of us. This is something that is impacted on learners throughout the world. There's learners in Cambodia, in South Africa, in America, all grappling with this because we have so many new issues to face while learning online. Nadia, can you move to the next slide, please?
Okay.
Another very important challenge facing learners is self-discipline. Students must manage their time efficiently and not leave assessment till last minutes. Please, guys, do not procrastinate. You need to spend sufficient time on reading through your work, going through your assessments, etc. Minimize your distractions as far as possible. Yes, it's very nice to play video games. It's nice to go and, you know, WhatsApp your girlfriend, etc. But guys, you need to spend time as well on the learning issues. You also need to be a dedicated online learner. That means never giving up. You need to be committed and adhere to deadlines, especially for assessments. One of the hardest things is that students are alone. And this is, I honestly sympathize with students all over the world in this respect, because this online distance learning is kind of lonely. And I often send announcements and posts to my students in different modules that I teach. I ask them to visit their Moodle site and see chats and posts. I even put virtual lectures, PowerPoint. Sometimes I even put an audio PowerPoint, or I send them a video just to keep them interested, because it is hard to be a learner alone. The traditional system was quite different because we were more engaging. So academics can be more engaging as well. So you need to also have a time schedule. I always say this to my students as well. Have a time schedule at hand. For example, get up in the morning, do your chores, eat, bath, then get dressed up and sit with your online course. Sit with your work. Be diligent. Give yourself an appointed time, few hours a day. And please, guys, during this time, take constructive breaks. Constructive breaks, hydrate, eat something, okay?
Okay.
Drink something, okay? So the next interesting area, which I do a lot of research, guys. I enjoy research. So I'm often involved in research, not just with my students, but who are PhD or masters, but also I myself write book chapters and I write journal articles, and I also am involved in projects, research projects. So writing and doing research is an important component of my life. And I'd like to share a few issues and things that have raised in my life. I'm sure you as students can also learn from. So engaging in research is sometimes a very important component of your module. Looking for new research areas, looking for new topics, adding to your literature review when you're doing an assessment, etc. So you need to always look at contemporary research being conducted and see if you want to include this or embark on some similar research area, because there's a lot going out there around this area. So it makes interesting reading, and you can connect to good research groups, etc. So when you've identified what you're going to be involved in, you need to choose a topic to make sure you are interested in it. Now, I always say to my students, you know, guys, the way you feel about your girlfriend or your boyfriend or something you passionate, you have these beautiful feelings about them. So too, when it comes to research, you must choose something that you're passionate about, you know, that you want to be engaged in. So after that, you can go out, collect different literature by sourcing journals and books. It's amazing. The internet has such lovely sites, and there's ebooks, there's journal articles. People are doing some amazing work out there that you can read and apply to your research concept. Then you develop your questionnaire. Like I said, at all times you need to read and read and read some more, so you unpack crucial concepts and theories that can assist to underpin or relate to your study. You must also identify at some point, especially if you're doing research maybe in your honors or master's project or whatever later on, you must identify a problem, and from there you build a problem statement. What is the gap? Okay, so you then need to develop objectives, and you need to align and develop research questions. Then you need to also develop a sound literature review that takes into account important theories and concepts in your study. Then you need to develop a detailed research methodology to apply, whether you're doing a qualitative study, desktop research, where you're looking at different people's work, and you doing it literally by looking at different theories, etc., and critiquing it, or you're doing qualitative work where you doing little questionnaires, etc., or you're doing statistical analysis, which is quantitative, whatever, but you need to develop a research methodology applicable to your study. And once you develop that, you put it into your study, then data can be collected, and you analyze and discuss. And last, you need to develop conclusions and recommendations emanating from your study. During your research, guys, it's an ongoing process. There's so much involved in it. The more you read, the more interesting points come out. Yes, there are times when you just hit a dead stop, but then you don't just stop there, you go on, because that's all part of your trajectory. And in learning, you have your good days and your bad days. Like in the seasons, we have, summer rains, and you have dry winters, etc. So too in research, you have these periods. So you need to keep continuously motivated, that you make sure you read and continuously read and write, so that you keep abreast of your research and the new areas emanating from the study. Now there's some interesting questions.
Professor Fanny, we still have 7 minutes left.
Okay, so I'll conclude quickly.
Okay.
Yes.
For the next slide. Yes.
Yes. So some interesting questions I put out there for you to ponder on. Is research easy? No. Does it involve hard work? Yes, yes, yes. Does research involve time and commitment? Yes. Does it involve discipline? All the time. Is it rewarding? Absolutely. It's rewarding when I see my journal article out there, when I see my completed assessment, when my students graduate. This is so rewarding when they complete their dissertation, etc. Why must you continue doing research? You want to succeed and you have drive, so you give it your best shot. Should you throw the towel in as research is frustrating? Never, ever, ever. Conducting research teaches you discipline and adds to your learning curve and personal growth. So nobody should give up. Can I round up now, Nadia? Last slide, please.
Okay, this one.
Okay, in conclusion, I'd like to say to the learners, thank you for listening. Learning during this pandemic is not easy. Doing research during this pandemic is also not easy. So students must practice patience with the online system, patience with their teachers, and most of all, patience with themselves. Be kind to yourself in this, because it's something new. You don't want to frustrate yourself and stress yourself out unnecessarily. Draw up a schedule so you do not procrastinate and leave everything till last minute. And guys, give it your best shot, because you have it within.
Thank you so much, Fanny. So insightful. So I think we go forward. I will continue for Q&A session. Please, students want to ask a question for Professor Fanny. We still have 5 minutes left.
Okay, one at a time.
Oh, you can
So-
chat. You can chat. So if you want,
Okay.
if you have a question.
Any questions, guys?
Question,
Wait.
Rahina, question, ma'am.
Hi, Prof. Fanny.
Hello,
Can I
dear.
ask question if you don't mind?
No, I want you to ask questions. It's learning. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your question.
As we know that distance learning is part of the cyber culture, you know, and all of us now, we are forced and conditioned to embrace this distance learning faster. Maybe some country already ready with this kind of changes, but some country are not. But we are forced and we are conditioned to embrace these changes in distance learning. So I would like to ask you some advices for teachers like us, to be, to be adaptive and to be able to embrace this changing as well as possible. You know, because it's very challenging. Distance learning is very challenging. So would you give us some advice for young teachers
Yes,
like us, young teachers like us?
Young teachers.
Nadia, can you stop sharing the screen so we can just see? Okay. So basically what we can do, Rahina, is that firstly, we cannot compare ourselves to the Western world and Western counterparts because they've already, many others, like for example, I did an online critique on a PhD seminar in Sweden because my mentor is from there and I did some work there many years ago. And then they do online critiquing of PhDs, and here we do basically we sit and we critique it and then we send comments back. So everyone in the world has a different side of way to do their online teaching, etc. What I would suggest to you guys is that I'd like to see Rahina's face. Rahina's face, Nadia, not the guy in front. Okay, thank you. So what I would suggest is try to make your learning as interesting as possible. Like what Nadia is doing here, where you have like a Zoom session so that people can listen, they're not alone. Secondly, you can also add videos. I do a little bit of virtual videos as well as I do virtual videos and I do audio visual, so students can listen and connect with these things. But don't pressure yourself you cannot compare us to others. The idea is we're slowly learning and we will adjust. Students need to be relaxed, staff members need to be relaxed. The idea is the fact that we're going online, we're having a relationship with students. They're offering feedback, etc. I hope this is assisted learners. Don't be afraid. We have to accept it. Yes, it's too. You need to build support as well, like administrative support from your university. Ask for it, etc. So this will assist you guys. Thank you. I hope that has helped you, Rahina. Any other?
Okay, I think we just have so little time. How about if we leave? How about if we continue, Mom, for the second session? Would you?
Okay.
Okay, maybe it will be better if we leave this meeting first and rejoin again. Sorry, I'm sorry before because I just have a free account.
Join again. Must I join again?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Only for one question more. One question more, and after that I close this session.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Habis ini join lagi.
But we first ya. Setelah ini join lagi ya. Setelah ini join lagi yang lain ya.
Okay.
Okay.
We will.
Okay, I think one more question ya. Who want to ask a question? Or maybe you can chat. You can write down in here if you want to ask a question. And after one question or we'll close this session.
We back? Any other questions, Nadia?
Okay, already back. Maybe
Yes.
Pak Iksan.
Paisan, where Paisan?
I see that he raised his hand, but where is he?
Where is he?
Okay, maybe student. Hello. Okay, want to ask a question?
Maybe can I ask?
Okay. Please introduce yourself first, yeah.
All right. Let me introduce myself. Sorry. My name is Fajar Fadila Sidik from arts students.
Hi, Fajar.
Fajar.
Hi.
Hello. May I ask you about this learning in the pandemic? Almost learning system is practical in arts, so it's kind of hard in learning with online course. So what the best advice from you to improve the practical learning, like drawing, like that kind of thing?
Okay.
And
Yes.
of course
I
it's
think-
hard on the online course, and how to improve it in the online course, but it's practical. Thank you.
Okay, I think in certain, like, when I think when I first introduced it, certain comments, it's hard to, one of the theorists said it's hard to apply online learning to certain curriculum, and maybe arts is one of them as well, where learners find it difficult because of the practical nature of it.
Yeah.
However, for example, there's this app that we've been sending our students to, because they said they have smartphones, but their computers, whatever, so they can just scan in. So maybe if you draw something and you can just scan it in, and Nadia ma'am can post it and evaluate it and look at it, so that it makes things easier. I mean, we need to look at different ways to play with technology at the moment. Obviously, we don't expect you to sit and draw online, etc. But this technology is available that you can assist students to, like, for example, scan in an artistic piece of work and send it through that can be shared, or do a presentation, online presentation in a Zoom kind of scenario where you're doing a presentation, and although you're going to speak about a certain art that has dictated your your presentation, etc., but you're going to also have this, so you're going to physically show people. So there is certain technologies that are available, but the teachers who are teaching in this course need to look around this so that they make the course as how shall we say, as easy for the students in terms of engagement. Basically, what you're saying is you want engagement, because in a room kind of thing, when, especially in terms of art, I'm thinking that, you'll show, you'll critique, you'll look at different design, etc. So, like I said, you need to make, like what Nadia ma'am is doing, make it as how shall we say, interactive as possible, the classroom, by using the new technology. Unfortunately, we have to look at new ways of thinking out of the boxes, so to speak. Like, I teach strategy, so I make my students write reports, I make them develop a presentation. Sometimes if they think out of the box, if they are what you call this finance students, or they are what you call these entrepreneurship students. So maybe they can develop or look at a new product and develop strategies around this. But they can present it in a certain way to us, so that it's the sharing that counts. And there's lots of ways to source documentation from online sources in terms of putting your assessments together, etc. Fajr, I know it's difficult during this time, but I hope I've addressed some concerns. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss.
Okay, thank you so much. Very interesting and insightful presentation today. And we can learn many things from this pandemic. I think that almost of the country has the same problem. Yes, especially for the teacher also. Teacher have many big challenges. Like right now, we are in the we are in the major of, we have a visual art major. As you can see that we have so many subjects that we doing practically. So as a teacher, I think it's really challenging when I give some evaluation to my student, and the mentoring process. Yes, because before this pandemic, we do the mentoring process is in the classroom, and I think it's really the effective way, because we do it practically, and I can suggest everything that it must change to be better. But right now, it must change. It must transform into online, ma'am. You know that, you can imagine, and we have so many students in here. Yeah, so that's the big challenge, I think.
But Nadia, it's a learning curve for all of us. We don't have to be prescriptive in our approaches. There's no one way. Like I said, there's a downloading, I'll forward it to you, a downloading package that I know finance people use, where you can apply it on your smartphone and scan in documents.
Okay,
so students
yes, we do like that. But yeah, it's sometimes takes time. And yeah, you know that the lesson will be going slower than before.
I know. But we gotta be patient, and we need to be safe. We need to look after ourselves as well. So we can't just, put ourselves at risk. So students have to be, I think, and academics have to be mindful of the students and their situation, and we need to be mindful of our own situations. And it's okay to, have these difficulties, have these little challenges. But at the end of the day, so long as learning is carrying on in some way possible, the idea is that we are trying to embrace this as positively as possible. In a normal situation, it'll be easier to adapt. But within the constraints of Corona, there's so much difficulty.
Yes, I totally agree, Mom.
And we're on the inside battle. Okay, then. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Or do we say goodbye now?
Yes, I will close this session. Thank you so much, Mom, for your time for us. Maybe we can continue for another session. Yeah, thank you for this collaboration.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you to the students and staff. Don't give up hope. I always believe that the good Lord will, be kind enough to get us a vaccine. We can move forward to more normalcy in the future. At the end of the day, hang in there, guys. Be positive. Learning is a continuous thing. There's challenges, there's ups and downs, but just go with the flow and just less stressed as possible. We all knew at this. None of us are pros or proficient. So we're learning together. In other parts of the world, people are like us.
Yeah.
So I think Liana is saying yes. Am I right, Chana? You thumbs up. Yeah, don't feel alone.
Positive in my mind.
We are there for each other, and that's all we want. We teachers in the world that are all facing this crisis at this time. We want the best for our learners. At the same time, we don't know, are we proficient, are we not? Don't judge. Just go with it as best you can, so that the students and you can have an interactive session, so that learning can continue in its own way, at its own pace. Please don't, like I said, no prescription. Don't compare to the way.
Thank you so much for your motivation. And, okay,
now.
see you for the next
Thank
session.
you,
See you.
man.
Bye.
Thank you, bro.
Okay, then.
Okay,
Bye.
guys, I think this is the end of the live distance learning. So thank you so much for you. You have joined until the last session. Thank you for Miss Ellie from Undiksa Bali, and also
Hi, Miss
Aditya
Ellie.
Ilwana from Machu University,
Oh,
and
hi.
also some lecture from Semarang State University, Miss Rahina, Miss Estri,
Pak Iksan.
Panda, Pak Iksan, Miss Novi. Thank you so much for today, and see you.